What's up, guys? You know who it is. So I got a good video today, and I will start off by saying that it's going to be boring. It's informational for people who um, don't know about this subject, but for those who do and already are following this logic, you're not going to find any interest in it. But I'm going to get right into it. Not going to waste any time. So the subject is going to be insurance, and I've done a lot of homework, as you guys can see here, on the subject matter because since I'm not a mechanic, I don't want to be giving you guys false information. So just a little bit of research that I've been doing on the subject of insurance. So I guess real quick here, if you look at like what I have now, granted my toolbox is a mess because I'm in the process of moving to my new place. We'll have an actual shop area and all that kind of stuff. So everything's in disarray, and we're got word today that things may be moving a lot faster than what we even anticipated. So things are dusty, things are dirty, but the reality of it is I have a lot of expensive tools. I probably have, in terms of dollar value, I probably have as much as most mechanics that are on YouTube and sharing their stuff in terms of this dollar value. I mean, I've got a lot of good Snap-on stuff, but I also have a lot of other brands as well that may not be necessarily the highest brand in terms of quality and performance, but it still costs money. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I've invested a lot of money and time into building what I've got. And I always like to give you guys a money shot just to kind of build some credibility for those who don't know my channel and kind of show what I mean when I'm talking about tools, and why I say what I say and why I talk about what I talk about. So here's a little bit of the drawer. You guys can see what I got. Everything in here, for the most part, is Snap-on. I know that some people may not believe me, but if you pick up any tool in here, there's probably going to be, where the hell did that come from? Probably going to be Snap-on or Wright or Mac or something like that. That's pretty much the brands I have. So I got a lot of tools, a big investment. Even my salvage yard bin, or my EDC, what I like to call it, is primarily filled with Snap-on and other various brands that cost a little bit more money. So let's go down the list here. So there's a couple of different companies out there that can offer you guys insurance. There's McKay, there's Next, there's Mechanics Tool Insurance, there's ProTech. There's a lot of good brands out there. And I'm not the first YouTuber that ever talk about getting insurance, but my reason for bringing it up is because I hate hearing stories about mechanics who work in a shop, the shop burns down or whatever, or floods out, and then they lose all their stuff. It breaks my heart as being just a guy, an everyday guy who enjoys wrenching, enjoys building things, working on cars, building trucks, etc. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Almost probably should have been a mechanic, but I'm a mechanical engineer, so I just kind of make that segue there. But I really respect the guys that do it, day in, day out. The guys that really work on either service trucks or work on heavy duty equipment, who work in a shop day in, day out. Those are the guys that I respect for what they do. And I feel bad, like I said, when I hear that they've lost everything because the shop owner doesn't have insurance, or he's not adequately insured enough to cover the guys that are working for him. So there's a couple different companies out there that I'm going to call out here, but real quick here. So just some bullet points here. PWA Insurance Group says, it could cost a shop as much as $1,000 a year just to cover one employee who may have up to $25,000 worth of tools. That's a lot of money for a shop, especially if the shop isn't really big. That could be a deciding point that says whether or not they will or won't cover your insurance, your tools. They said on average, the average mechanic has between 25 and 50. Now, I know I've got way more than $50,000 worth of tools. I mean, if you think in this jar here alone, just think of what an average socket set will cost. What does that socket set cost on the truck? What does that socket set cost on the truck? What does this socket set cost on the truck? And so on and so forth. So I know just in the top drawer alone, I've got some damn good money wrapped up into this. Mechanics purchase tools throughout their career. You guys build them to suit your specific needs, which we know, just like I've built my own collection to suit what I think I need. Employee tool coverage options that shops have. there's an option, I guess is what they're trying to say, is that there may be an option for some shops to have employee tool coverage on their plan. Some shops take advantage of that, some shops don't. Smaller shops can't afford that option, which is a common occurrence. Tools are not automatically covered under your home insurance policies. So a lot of people think that they can cover their shop tools at work. That ain't how it works, apparently. So most insurance plans will require a rider policy. So that's something that I know I've found out about for my own home, as well as my new shop that I'm getting set up here. I have to make sure I have enough coverage to cover all my tools that are going to be in that building. That's tools and equipment. There's another company called Ion Insurance, which offers coverage up to starting at like $250 a year. So $250 is not a lot of money to spend on having proper coverage, so that if you lose out of your tools, a shop, a fire, a flood, or whatever may happen to you guys, you're covered. And on average, I think the deductible is about $250 as well. So things you need to think about, not only is it fire, but it's also flood, it's earthquake, it's theft. Those are all types of things that could leave you guys without having what you need to put food on the table and take care of your bills. There's a lot of companies will offer as much as up to $100,000 in coverage. There's one company, Ion, like I mentioned, they're very familiar with a lot of the top brands. So they know about Snap-on, they know about Mac, they know about Stanley Black and Decker, Matco, etc. So they're familiar with that. For you guys that are in Canada, I know I have a lot of subscribers that are in Canada. There's McKay Insurance. So if you guys live in Ontario, you probably should check them out. They had a lot of good info about why you should cover your tools, how to get a good coverage plan, what to look out for, what to consider, etc. Even for you guys that are road mechanics, wherever you take your tools is your business. So you need to make sure that you are properly covering your tools, your equipment. So if you carry other things with you, jacks and compressors and saws and etc., you need to make sure that you have proper coverage for everything, guys. Don't be left without what you need. Even for your higher end tools as well. So make sure that you cover not only the smaller hand tools, but also your higher end tools as well. Commercial auto insurance may not be enough. So just because you're traveling around in a work truck, don't mean that that's going to be enough to cover your tools. A lot of people think that because they drive a pickup truck or a van, that if something happens to that pickup truck or van, that's going to be enough to cover them. And that is not the case. Most tool coverages will cover tools valued at up to $1,000 or less for hand tools. And then your bigger equipment is $1,000 or more is what I've been seeing. This also covers things like your supportive tools. So things like power tools, ladders, PPE, boots, etc., things of that nature. And then also things such as generators, welders, excavators, backhoes, whatever the case may be. Those are all types of supportive pieces of equipment. Most companies will offer full plate replacement, so versus market value. So make sure that you guys find a plan, or you get a plan that's going to offer you full replacement value, not necessarily the diminished value over time. So just because your tool is older, some plans will not care about that and will still offer you full and direct replacement for it. Let's see here, rental reimbursement rider, right? So if you're renting a vehicle, make sure that you have a plan that will make sure that it will cover your tools and your equipment in the event that something happens to it. You can make sure that you carry those specific plans or riders on your policy. Toolbox tours. So for you guys that are in shops, guys, we all like to watch toolbox tours like myself. Make sure that you guys do a toolbox tour. Even if you don't share it on publicly, just have one when you go through and you list out everything that you got. You take your time. You're not trying to publish the video and be a YouTuber, but do a proper video that does a comprehensive review of what you have. Videography is a proof of ownership, and it will help you in the event that you need to submit a claim. And then, like I said, there's a couple different insurance companies out there. You might want to check them out. There's a list of them there. I think, I forgot the name of the channel, but there's another YouTuber out there who talked about ProTech. He recommended ProTech, so I'm going to say, hey, go check out ProTech. I didn't check him out, but he did, and he said there was a good plan, and I watch a lot of his content, but I cannot think of his name. Sorry about that. I apologize to you. You know who you are. But yeah, just I guess that's I'm just kind of running through this because we're only at 9 minutes. But I guess my thing is, like I said, I really respect what you guys do. And like I said, I hate reading stories and articles and hearing on YouTube about a guy who, or a girl, or whatever the case may be, who had a theft at the shop, or someone broke in the shop, stole things, or the shop caught fire, or a flood, or whatever you may have, and you lose out on your stuff. So I guess from someone who doesn't mean anything to you is saying, hey, if you don't have proper insurance, guys, take the time. This is your livelihood. This is your investment. You guys are using these tools to put money on the table. I don't do that for a living. These tools are just luxury items for me. But for you guys who are using these things day in and day out, you're in a shop, on a work truck, out in the field, doing whatever, make sure that you guys are taking care of what you have. Take care of your tools, take care of your equipment, make sure you have a proper policy on them. So that if something happens, because we all know shit happens, so make sure that you're covered and that you have a plan in place in the event that you lose your things, right? So, and a lot of those rental policies too, some insurance companies, like I said before, will have a rental reimbursement fee. So if you have to go out and rent a meter or rent a scan tool or something to that effect, they will reimburse you for what the cost is to have to rent a tool until your insurance policy takes care of replacing what you lost. So just make sure you guys think about that, because it's heartaching to hear those stories. And I have no dog in this race, so that means that I'm just telling you this as a friend, as a YouTuber. I'm not sponsored by any insurance company. I'm not being paid to talk about this subject. I'm just looking out for you guys. And I just want to make sure that you guys at least think about it. You can tell me to go to hell and whatever, or what do I know? And you may be true in many of those factors. But I'm just saying, hey, make sure you guys have proper coverage to cover what you guys have, because we don't want to hear about you guys losing out and not having covered, not being properly covered. It makes all of us feel bad, especially in this community that we have. So if you guys if your tools are insured, or you have more insight than what I was able to ramble on here, share it in the comment section. Leave comments, leave recommendations for different insurance companies that you guys deal with. Leave a name and where you're located, so people know how to kind of connect the dots. Let us know what type of policy plans you guys have. Is it good? Is it bad? Etc. This is important information that goes well beyond just simply talking about a ratchet or a wrench. That someone can really find useful. And for you guys who don't have proper coverage, take some of that extra bonus money or the side job money that you make, if you can afford it, and pay for yourself to get a policy. Even if you just pay for 1 year at a time, and you can't guarantee that you're going to have the money next year, at least buy 1 year's worth of policy and just kind of, save up as you go along to make sure that you guys are covered. So hope you guys respect my attempt to try to help you out. And I will catch you guys on the next video. All right, peace.